password coffee. Hello. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon for everyone joining us. Um, with you, Dr. Amr Alwi. I'm from Egypt. First of all, I hope everyone is safe and sound and everything is going great. Take care of yourself, take care of your family. Don't take it easy. It's a critical situation. Everyone has to care about it. And again, I'm thanking you for joining me. Let's start. First of all, I want to thank Endostar and Boldent for this marvelous chance so we can share our knowledge, our information about dentistry and root canal treatment. Let's start with my presentation so I can talk with you and say what in my mind. As you know, we call it Endo Coffee, so with my coffee, let's start our presentation. To introduce myself, let's open the presentation. Okay. First of all, again, try as much as you can, stay home, stay safe. Pray for everyone in this situation. We are in the same ship, facing all the issues together. No differentiation, no ethnic background, no countries, no boundaries. It's a virus invading all of us, so please take care of yourself. Let me introduce myself. I'm Amr Alwi, graduate 2003. I'm endodontist. I made my page, Timeless Endodontics, on 2013, practicing my own technique in root canal treatment. Today, I will share my knowledge, my experience. It's not only from the books, it's from my working point of view, how I utilize my tools during the treatment. This picture to refresh all of us, as you can see, this is my little coffee family. Hope you find it interesting. Coffee give me power, give me motivation. So I'm trying all kind of coffees, like I'm trying all kind of root canal files and root canal instruments. It gives me the probabilities and all the chances so I can manage all the cases, all the circumstances that I face during the treatment. As far as all of us know, in root canal treatment, we are dealing with humans, with variation. When you get a lower molar, okay, you can say I have maybe 1 to 2 distal canals, 2 mesial canals. Okay, this is what in the books, but your patient is not like this. You have curvatures, you have calcification, you have necrosis, you have vital, it's a vital tooth, it's a necrotic tooth, it's a broken tooth. So during all these circumstances, you have to be ready by the knowledge of all the available tools and utilizing them during the treatment. Okay, today I have main 3 points I will talk about. These points, it's like a small journey. We will go inside, understand our tools, understand how to manage whatever the case you have in the fastest way, safest way. Okay, sometimes it's not always the deal. Sometimes you get a broken instrument, sometimes you get, as I said before, curved canal, small mouth opening. We cannot say all this in a one simple lecture for 20 minutes, but some simple keys can help you in these points. The first point is Ingenuity hybrid technique. It's my own technique. As I said before, I started around 2010 to utilize my only rotary files in a routine root canal treatment. I started my page in 2013 only to utilize rotary files. Since then, I don't have any kind of manual files till now, and I hope so far, forever. Okay, I'm only using rotary files. My second point, which I thank Endostar for this lovely chance, is, as I said before, you can utilize any kind of file for any situation, but E3 Azure file give me some advantages that I can modify my technique, so I still do a single visit in a case that can be done in a single visit, vital case, or whatever the case that can be done in a single visit with the E3 Azure files. The last point is related to the motor itself, not to the patient or the technique or the file, but the motor and how I can use the motor movement to minimize the issues that could happen to me while I'm doing only rotary root canal treatment. Because sometimes when I'm talking with my colleagues, my friends, it's not logical before in 2010 when I'm telling my friends that I'm only using rotary files, it's not logical. So some tricks can be done that let you overcome these issues even in the complex cases. Okay, let's start by the last point, the OTR movement. OTR stands for optimum torque reverse. Optimum torque reverse. In any rotary files, you have two measurements, speed and torque. Torque is very important because it affects the file itself, as the cyclic fatigue during increasing the torque can give us file separation. So is it like old auto reverse function? No, actually it's completely not. How I can know about it? I try to read about how the torque monitoring work on cars, on any kind of electric motors. Most of the electric motors have a way to measure the torque and the change in torque. I will not go in further details because there's two methods as far as I know, but in this motor, the torque monitor is continuous. This motor by Endostar, and there's other companies that make it, but it's a technology. This technology is helpful as all you know, there is two kinds of movement, rotation and reciprocation. OTR is a continuous rotation, but as you will see in the second slide, the blue and violet colors, I hope you can see the colors okay, but cutting direction and non-cutting direction. Okay. When you adjust your torque in any kind of motor, you will see that the motor is rotate. But when this torque measurement change to a point that need to auto-reverse, it will go back 90 degrees for the opposite direction. Till now, it's like auto-reverse. But in this motors, the auto-reverse direction will still in the same time measuring the torque that applied on the surface of the file itself. If it's still above that you pre-measured number, it will go back again. If not, it will continue back the rotation. So what I will get benefit from this? First of all, it will get you the debris out. Okay, why I need to remove the debris more out? Because the more the debris that you have on the file surface, the more the torque applied on the file itself. We will talk about this later in the file material. So you will not need to get the file out and clean. get the file out and clean. But still, in my favorite technique is to remove it out. But in the same time, you will get more debris out of the canal. So this is number one, or number three is the OTR movement. It reduces the torque induced on the file due to the debris or constriction or curvature in the canal, so decrease the probability of cyclic fatigue of your root canal file. Okay, this is number three. Let's go for number two, the E3 Azura. My first introduction to E3 family files was the normal E3 normal file, nickel titanium regular file. It was very nice file, high cutting efficiency because it's austenitic nickel titanium, which known for the austenitic phase, known for the high cutting efficiency. Okay, it's super elastic, but it's not flexible. You cannot pre-bend. You cannot use it in ledge cases. So it was a good file, and I'm still using it combining the Azure, but the Azure have some points, we will talk about it later. Okay, I have to show you, it's have a variable pitch numbers. That means that here, the spaces here is different than here in this side, in the coronal part. Neutral rack angle. For me, neutral rack angle is for stability of the file inside the canal. For sure, the canal is not round, as all we know, but still when it's touching two surfaces, there's minimal vibration inside the canal. And due to the large spaces between the flutes, you have space to remove more debris, to remove more dead tissues. Combining this with the OTR movement, you will get a lot of advantage. You will not get the file stuck inside the canal, and this is what I like about this file. Safe tip for bodybuilders, okay? So if you are the guy who's sticking the file into the canal, safe tip will not give you modification in the natural canal anatomy or change it. There's a lot of changes than another brand of file, different than this one for the safe tip, but for this file, for I will talk how I use it, you will find it very, very, very nice, and you will not misguide you in other direction than the canal itself. For the color coding and tapers, this is for introducing the file if you don't know it or first time to hear about it. But I'm not sure of this. You have stripes and colors. The color code is like what we took in our dental school, white for 15 and so, red for 25. But the stripes is standing for the taper. Please point this point in your mind. It's very important. If you have 1, it's 8, 2, it's 6, and 3, 4% taper. Okay? So let's go back again. We have 8, 6, and taper 4. So what's new than the normal E3? Okay. And how I can get advantage of this information about what I'm going to say during the root canal. I don't want you to get bored, but you will find it interesting when you collect all these points backward. Okay, try to collect these points backward. As Steve Jobs say, try to collect the dot backward. You will understand everything. Okay, let's go. How they did the heat treatment. Okay, the normal or old nickel titanium file was austenite phase. It's super elastic, very and high cutting efficiency, resisting to twisting. Okay, it's very hard to twist a normal nickel titanium file or detwist it, except if you are going beyond your limits. Okay, what they have done in Azure, okay, they try to make a transitional state, stress-induced martensite phase. What you will get from this, it's I'm preparing something to read also. It's more flexible. It can pre-bend. Pre-bend can be used for many reasons. Limited mouse opening. Even some cases, 21 millimeters is not enough. You have a limited mouse opening. So pre-bending the file, it's marvelous. greater resistance to breaking. When I'm saying this, greater resistance to cyclic fatigue. When all this happened, near body temperature, they made this treatment near body temperature, and in the same time to get this is adjusting the nickel to titanium percentage to get the proper martensite phase. Some people say you try to get the good of two words, the martensite and austenite. Okay, but I don't want to say it like this, because if you are trying to be two phases in same time, maybe you will be mediocre or be something in between. But if you're using the file right, no, you will get actually the good of two words, definitely, and I will speak later. Wait for it. So, martensite is completely resistant to cyclic fatigue, can be curved, can be passed to any kind of ledges, because you can adjust the tip where you can fit inside the ledge site. Okay, all this happened during to body temperature. So you can put in your mind or say what happened if the temperature increase. Yeah, it will be more cutting efficient to the file, but it will not transfer to completely austenite. Okay, as you see in this picture, I'm sorry, now we are 15 minutes, but I still have time. As you can see here, this is traditional nickel titanium. It's from austenite phase of nickel titanium. If you see what happened to the file here or here, this completely cyclic fatigue and beyond to return back to the normal shape. It's okay, it's super elastic, but it will not come back to the original shape. This is the case in normal nickel titanium. If you have any file that turn to be like this, completely you have to discard it. But in this case, in Azure, as you see in the black one and the silver one, the silver one, it's a new one out of the box. This one is sterilized more than 30 times. Still flexible, no separation, nothing. Same file. You didn't lose any of the nickel titanium properties or the martensite properties. But in my point of view, don't go this far. In this test, I used extracted tooth, not natural tooth. But I'm saying it's safe. And in the case of martensite files, if you can see any kind of detwisting, it's no problem, no issues. The only problem that will face you during the treatment, if you see detwisting of any martensite file or E3 Azure, is to readjust the working length, because the spaces between the flutes or the pitch number will completely change. So you will find maybe minute half to 1.5 millimeter change in your measurement. So please readjust if you find any detwisting, but don't be afraid it will not get broken. So what is the sequence of these files? And I will start to show you in some cases. Manufacturer recommendation, like any recommended company, use manual file K20 or 15. The 30, as you see, is the 8% taper. This 25, 6% taper. Then decapitulate the canal and do the irrigation and all these issues. Then you can go to 25 and 34%. This is the basic kit. You can use it for a straightforward case, distal canals, a little bit moderate to wide mesial canals or buccal canals. This is the logical for anyone who want to start with the A3 Azure. Okay. They made 3 kits for straight, lightly moderate curved canal, narrow canals, and wide canals. Wide canals, all large sizes, but with a taper 4. Narrow and curved canal, or as sometimes I say, for the apical 1/3, okay, are these 3 files. And in the end here, the basic kits that I have shown before, you have 38 taper 8 and 25 taper 6 and 30 taper 4. Okay. So we finished part 2. Let's start for the fun stuff in the last 10 minutes. What is Ingenuity hybrid technique? What I have started since more than 7 years. Ingenuity, as a word, it means be clever, be genuine, try to fix your own issues, your own problems, without trying. You have the basic knowledge, you use this basic knowledge to fix the problems or what are you facing in your own way. What I'm doing you can do, and you can do even better, so don't worry about it. Let's see. My technique is hybridizing 2 points: coronal flaring and crown down technique in the same time. So what I will get from crown down and coronal flaring in the same time. Okay, not all the cases are white, not all the cases is distal canal and palatal canal. Sometimes you get root canal anatomy is very complicated. It's like this picture, you have lateral canals. The most important, it's not only about filing, you want your irrigation and gliding paths like EDTA, whatever the material you prefer to use, to be efficient in the shortest time. My issue before starting my technique is using the manual file, giving me a lot of time to reach the apex, and with the new knowledge about the new rotary files, new motors, new speeds, new torque, new movement, you can do, we can say, magic regarding 2000 and 2010. If you told me that I will do root canal without manual file, it was going to be my favorite subject in 2003. And literally, it's now root canal treatment is my favorite. It's my number one. Okay, so in the cases, and I will talk about. I want you to collect more points when when I'm going to talk in the cases, so you will get, as I told you before, the points backwards. So it's a coronal flaring was crown down in the same time from the first 1 to 2 minutes. Okay, let's go. So larger files, smaller, but when I say larger, I'm not saying 25, I'm talking about 35, sometimes 40. Again, the slide. Why? This is what we have from Endostar, but this is what I see. This is what I like. When I organizing my file in my clinic, they are organized like this, by taper, not by kits. If you organize it by taper, you will have a clue for any situation, a file for every situation. Calcified canals. If you cannot find the orifice, go for the orifice finder, 38%. It's a marvelous file. I don't want to waste my time to rebend and bend 10 and 15. Try it, okay? You have 20 and 25, 6%, and you have starting from 20 to 45, all taper 4, okay? So, as I always say, a file for every situation. Okay. Let's go for the fun part. The cases. As you see, this premolar, upper premolar, straightforward case, 2 canals, upper 4, narrow canal here, narrow canal behind. I started with my technique. My favorite file is the 35 taper 4. I start with it. 30. When you see the master cone and obturation, you will understand why I do this. 35, 30, 25, 20. Then I will go back again to 25. Then I will go back again to 30. So I know that I used a lot of files, but I use the same file from the same company. So what I'm saying here, I know we can say there are 4 files, but what benefits I get from this? I finished in less than 30 minutes. Okay, maybe I'm a little bit fast, but later on you will be even faster than me. So what I get used from using 35 as a first file. Okay, as you see, when I used 35 and 30 as a first two file, I only go this further from the first minute. So what benefit from here? After 60 seconds, I have the ability to put EDTA to put sodium hypochlorite, make sure that it penetrates at least two-thirds of root canal, two-thirds of the canal. It's more efficient from the first 60 seconds. More efficient from the first 60 seconds. So I'm sure that the organic material, the tissue of the pulp is removed. The sodium hypochlorite is more effective. When I find this canal is shorter, I started for next smaller sizes. I left this calcified canal. As you see, it's nearly maybe 80% calcified. I cannot see any kind of canal. This case was this year, okay, after maybe using Azura for more than nearly 1 year. So I get used to it. The file is working nice. The OTR movement is marvelous with me. So I go for smaller sizes. Here is the end result. So I find it interesting to not use any kind of manual file in a case like this. Another picture. Second case. This case was from maybe second or third case that I used Azura in it last year. Lower molar, irreversible bulbitis. Again, I start for the mesial for 35, 30, 25, 20, 25 back again, and 30. But in distal canals, I go in another way. It's very wide. I start directly with 25, 6 taper 6, 20 taper 6, and 25 back again, taper 6. Why I used back again 20 in the middle? It's shown it's a very wide canal. But actually it wasn't. If you go back here, in this area, no. Curvature here, I needed to go back again to 20. So I used all the sizes, irrigation all the time, no manual file, no negotiation with a manual file. I want to see you, let you see the picture. As you see here, that's why I need the 20 taper 6. And here also, that's why I needed the 25 and 20 taper 6. Another case, the last one. Now we are more than 30 minutes. I don't want anyone to be angry or bored. Lower molar. 35, my favorite. Sometimes I use it instead of the orifice opener. 30 taper 4, 25. Why I go for 25? We will see in the obturation picture. For this reason. The more the file is thick or have a bigger core, the more it to get the curvature right in the natural anatomy. So that's why I use the 35 taper 4 at least to half or two-thirds of the canal only. Why? To give space in the fastest time for the EDTA and for the sodium hypochlorite to be efficient from the first minute if you want to finish in a single visit. I hope you get the point. I'm ready for all kinds of questions. In the end, I want you to read it this one carefully. Every hard time is passing. So please, don't panic. Take it easy. Use this time wisely with your family. I'll not say about study and my lectures and all this issue. No, Your family is number one, your children, your parents. Return back to the 80s. Use your time machine and go back to the 80s. It's marvelous to return to the good time when we don't hold all your mobile phone all the time. No, this is not logic. God gave us chance to enjoy our time. This time will pass. Again, I want to thank Endostar for this marvelous opportunity and for this nice files, quality files, which helped me more than what I have done in 2 to 3 years. They fix it for me in 6 months for this file, and I hope for new products. And invite you all for Dr. Nikhil Modi from India. This Wednesday, I will be joining him. Wait for me, my friend. And 3 p.m. in Poland, Warsaw's time, and 6:30 in India's time, BM. I'm ready for all your questions, and keep in touch. Hello, Dr. Malik. My friends in Endostar gave me one question from Mr. Malik, Dr. Malik. If you mean a flare-up after the treatment in a necrotic case, um, first of all, if you had a flare-up, merely it's a necrotic case, so maybe no proper cleaning or shaping or removal or dead tissue from the canal, or no proper time for sodium hypochlorite to be left inside the canal. Or third reason, you have a missed canals. So my advice for you in this case, if you mean a flare-up post-operative treatment, especially in a premolars. I'm sure 100% in these cases you will find the canal not wide ones, or you will find it very tight. So if it's very tight, so no proper cleaning inside the canals, so remaining dead tissues, if you can see any specimen for a dentin under a microscope, it's like a sponge. This sponge is full of microorganisms. If you didn't clear the smear layer and didn't remove all the dead tissues from the canal, so still there's a chance a flare-up will happen. Sometimes due to open apex or the apex very a little bit wide, or you violated the canal, so all the dead tissues will go out and give this post-operative flare-up. So my advice to you is proper time for sodium hypochlorite is one of the key points to remove all the dead tissue from inside the canal. Let me check again if do you know when to change the files from 35 to 30? How are you, Dr. Regine? Okay. Actually, as far as you know, Dr. Regine, that I don't use manual files. So I pre-estimate the working length using apex locator and X-ray, both of them in the same time. I never go than 2/3 of the 2/3 of the canal length by the 35. No way. And the preoperative X-ray is a key point for me here. To know where is the curvature if it's not a straight canal. So in 35, exactly the 35 file, my favorite file, the green file, and the palatal canal and distal canal, no issues. I can go for the 2/3. But when I find the motor keep reversing and auto-reversing and auto-reversing, I feel it. It's about, okay, we can say experience, but if you want to put some points regarding when to change to 35 to 30, point number one is at least 50% of the canal length if you are trying this technique for the first time. If you get used to it, you will feel it. You will get to the point. Don't pass for the curved canal or the mesial or distal canals, tight canals. As if we are going to speak about a lower molar or upper molar, the mesial canals or buccal canals for more than the 4% more than the half of the canal, 50% of your working length. You switch file by yourself, or do your assistant change it for you, or do you use two-hand piece? Okay, you got me. Yeah, sometimes I use two-hand piece. I work in many places. Sometimes a sister do it for me. Sometimes I do it myself. But yes, I do two motors in the same times. Before you discard. Okay. To answer this question, when I discard my file, first of all, my answer may be suitable for me and not suitable for you or anybody else, because the cost effectiveness is point in some places, but the safety and security for your practice and for your patient is not number one. It comes before number one. Okay. I measure it here by the complexity of the case. I know which file used in a very complex case. You feel the file in your hand, you feel the resistance, you feel the torque. Also, if it's a necrotic or calcified case, a file like this, okay, you can reuse it, but you can use it in a straight upper canine case. Okay, regarding, I'm talking about Azure because the file will return back again. And as I said before, it's originally a traditional austenite nitai, which is highly resistant to fatigue, but still it's heat treated. So I'm sure 100% the failure will not come from issues or cracks or micro cracks and microstructure during making the file. So safety here according to the case. Sometimes, to give you a definite answer, I use it only in 3 cases. But some people use it more. When I test it, I use it for more. I sterilize it and use it in a more than 20 to 25 extracted tooth. Some of them even I used it without using ADTA and without using sodium hypochlorite to see when I'm going to break the file. And actually I broke only 2 files. One of them was, to say the truth, one of them, as far as I remember, was 30 taper 8. Okay, but the flexible 4% file, I didn't break any file, and on the extracted tooth. Why do how are you, Dr. Walter? Yeah. Again, Dr. Walter, I go for the certified 4%, at least 50%, or sometimes to 2/3 of the canal. Okay. How do I do the working lens without the hand file? First of all, I have a strange idea. I'm doing it by software that I modified with one of my friends, but this is not for everyone. Okay, but for anyone, how you can pre-estimate your working lens. First of all, there's so many ways. You can go with the 20 taper 4 rotary file and insert it inside the canal and do your x-ray, and you see the remaining of your working lens and pre-estimated. Or in the same time, you can go by the 24%, and using the apex locator, he will tell you nearly how many millimeters is remaining to your apex. And by this point, you can do a pre-estimation even before doing any mechanical procedure by using this file. So I combine the apex locator and in the same time the preoperative x-ray and the first x-ray after the preoperative x-ray. I was waiting for this question from Dr. Nadim. No, I don't do apical gouging by manual file. I'm doing it by rotary file after confirming 100% the working lens. Dr. Estepan? Yes, for sure. Yeah. I didn't mention this. Thank you, Dr. Stefan, for this question. I didn't mention how I make it easy for me and save myself a time. In most of the cases, you will find a lovely canal, which is very wide and very nice and straightforward. Not like the cases that I put, but the cases that I put is that I put today is to say how I manage the canals. But one of my advantages in using my technique without any manual files is that when you find this lovely canal in your molar, we will speak about a molar right now. Okay, you will find one canal. I want to open back again the presentation for the premolar case. As you can see here, this canal was patient and nice to me. This canal treated me well, but this one not. So in this case, one of the advantage of using the 35 taper 4, when you have a coronal flaring in the first minute, as I said, and I found one canal not behaving well. She was a naughty canal. So I left this canal with sodium hypochlorite and ADTA, and I start working this canal, we can say, for 5 to 10 minutes. In these 5 to 10 minutes, I started to re-irrigate again, remove the sodium hypochlorite, removing the ADTA, doing ultrasonic activation for the irrigation, and all the steps that I'm not talking about it today because I'm focusing about using the file in my technique. So get the better results without any manual files, as I said before. but still, if you need to use manual file, it's your own right. You can use it. When I come back here, you will find that the EDTA gel makes the life easier for you. So when you go back again with the 25 and 20s and 25 and 30, it will take the same time with the good behaved canals, the polite canal. So it was very nice. You will find it very interesting to leave the naughty canal, as I always say it, to reconsider, to open the way for you with the ADTA and the sodium hypochlorite. How many times do you use one files? Okay, I answered this question before, but I use it according to the complexity of the case. Sometimes my average time is 3 cases, but I can reuse it again in a canine because, as I said before, the safety of your patient and your practice is come before even number one. It's a priority, it's a top priority. That's why I'm trying to minimize the mishaps that could happen during the treatment. When I'm talking about my technique, Ingenuity Hybrid technique, it's also about to reducing your mishaps as much as you can, which already happened to me before when I was in dental school due to manual file. That's why I did this. Okay. If anyone need me to answer any kind of question, I'm available privately. You can send me whatever you want. You can join me in my page, Greeting from Egypt. Greeting from Egypt all over the world. Everyone, please stay safe. Take care of yourself. I have to go now. And my last thing, don't forget to join my friend. Let's see him back again. Farewell and stay safe, please. Okay, bye-bye.